Last time around, I mentioned that Israel was in Egypt for over 400 years, but I made it sound like they were in bondage for 400 years. That's not true. You knew that, Lori?
Yeah.
Why didn't you speak up? Yes, you should have.
I should have. Well, because Joseph came to Egypt.
Yep.
Basically, all his family came, and they were...
Yeah, it was a new pharaoh that came along, okay? So I was trying to calculate the real time. Like, I know they were in Egypt for over 400 years. That's many, many, many generations. And they prospered and grew to about 600,000 men, plus women and children. And this Pharaoh came to power, and he thought to himself, what is this nation living in this land of Goshen? We should do something to protect ourselves, so let's put these people in bondage. The time of their bondage was about the span of the life of Moses. I can't get an exact number, so I'll correct that idea. They weren't in bondage for 400 years, but the point that I was trying to make was, let's say they were in bondage throughout the life of Moses. When Moses challenged the Egyptian, when he was beating on one of his brothers, Moses killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. From what I could tell, he was 40 years old. So he was in the house of Pharaoh all of his life. And then at 40, he went out to check on the children of Israel, and he saw this oppression, and he did something about it. That's my point still, that God was looking for a person like that he would actually fight against the Egyptians.
Well, yeah, because it represented the death of the flesh.
Right. Because now you're not jumping to conclusion. What you're doing is you're actually remembering all the things we've learned about Egypt.
Sure.
Egypt represents the flesh. Mm-hmm. Now, Egypt represents the flesh throughout the rest of the Bible, not just the prophetic books in the Old Testament. Because you also have the great Hur, and one of her names is Egypt. Mm-hmm. And also the great city where Jesus was crucified is also called Egypt and Sodom.
Yeah.
And you may think, wait a minute, Jesus was crucified in Jerusalem. Why is the book of Revelation calling that great city where Jesus was crucified Egypt and Sodom?
Because of what they represented, the flesh.
Exactly.
The ways of man.
But this is what I'm learning about these words.